So India produces world-class professionals today, CEOs, coders, consultants who can manage billion-dollar businesses and lead teams across time zones. But when it comes to managing their own health, many of these same people actually collapse. And we've heard all the kinds of excuses, right? And people start taking, in fact, a lot of the times, take it seriously only when a doctor comes to them and says, hey, listen, you got to take your life seriously. And the truth is, it's not like we in India are short of any ambition. We really are short of systems. We rely on literally jugaad to fix everything from business to everything that we do. But jugaad doesn't really come to work when it comes to wellness, right? Motivation fails, fades, hacks fail. And in culture where every week brings a wedding, a festival, office party, staying consistent is almost literally impossible. So my guest today has lived this story on both sides. I have Nikhilesh Sawant, who scaled businesses worth thousands of crores at Croma, Godrej, and while his P&L and graphs were going up, his wellness was going down, right? And that disconnect literally pushed him and asked the harder question: why do smart, successful people fail at staying well? The answer became Habitry, a behavior-first wellness system, but built not on hype but on habits. And today we're talking about why willpower is overrated, why systems beat motivation, and how design habits actually hold in the chaos of Indian life. This is built different. And in this podcast, we find out why the real flex isn't intensity, it's consistency.
That's it.
So first of all, thanks a lot, Nikhilesh, for joining us today. I'll start off straight away, right? Like the straight question.
Yeah, sure.
Why do successful Indians, a lot of us, right, in business, in work and everything, we crush it at work. We are like number one, right? But when it comes to health, we completely fall apart. Like what is this failure and why is it happening?
You already gave a part of that answer when you introduced me about what Habitree does. So I'll just once again tell you, be very clear about it. So what happens is at work, you have a system, okay? Irrespective of how organized or unorganized your setup is in an organization. But I think if you are someone who is had a very decent run at your career, decent in terms of time, decent in terms of success, you have a set of systems which are already present at work. Irrespective of whether you would like to go to a review or not, whether you are prepared for a review or not, that review is there. You are going to get a feedback in the review. Even if you think that you're not going to hear to your boss or to your leader or anyone, there is a certain percentage of feedback that you will take in. You will try to improve upon it. You will try to work upon it, and then come back in the next week, next month with a better outcome. Why? Because you know your life depends on it. I mean, that's how we perceive it, because our salaries, our rewards, our incentives all depend upon it, and that's what we do. And once that system is in place, I mean, there are a lot of things also, other things that you do at work. Everything has a process, has a system which is to be followed. There are people around you. That entire support system is present. But that's where health falls apart actually. Why? Because I've realized over the years, for a person, the health journey has become a pretty lonely journey. We think that we read a lot on the internet. There are a lot of things that we are following, and that actually makes us part of that big global community. But no, I think more the information, more is the overload, and lonelier is the person getting. So that's where it's not working for people who are successful at work, who are crushing it at their office, but not at not at 100% of their health. Because say for example, you have trackers these days. They will tell you that you have skipped your sleep, your sleep was bad. But what? We'll just look at it and maybe forget, and then still carry on with our work and won't take correctives to improve upon it.
So I think largely you're saying is that systems, we work probably are better off at work because we have systems in place. But when it comes to real life, we don't. And sometimes all these smart, and I'm wearing a bunch of them, gadgets that we use are not always the best case for you. You need better systems, better processes in place in your real life to help you get better. Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll go into your personal journey as well, right? Like, so you're someone, and this probably would have had a thought process for you, a revelation for you almost. Like, you've scaled like 1,000 crore businesses, but when it came to your own health personally, you were also struggling, whether it's with weight gain and all of that, right? And this is literally every professional that you and I know of, like any successful professional that we've seen, very few of them, in fact, have crossed the barrier, who are extremely fit and at the same time at the peaks of their career. But let's say a large volume of people are not that way, right? What do you think is the major disconnect there? Like, why is that not working for them? Like, I understand the systems part, but what else is there do we feel that's missing?
We wait for the bill, Sandeep, I think. So, I'll just give you a personal feedback actually. A personal anecdote rather. So I was fairly a lean child always. I was not someone who was overweight. Uh, could eat anything, could digest anything, metabolically strong, they would call me. But what happened was, there came a point of time in my life when I was actually working to a larger extent and ignoring my health. And that very short period of probably 3 to 6 months led to a weight gain, led to me being I mean I used to have puffy face, swollen eyes, weight to वैसे भी बढ़ा था, and parallelly what was happening was realizing that I was just not being there with my fitness. I used to travel by train to office. So once you are if you are in Mumbai, if you have to travel by local train, you have to climb those staircases to cross from one platform to other. And I started panting, and that's when it hit me that no man, there's somewhere which is going wrong right now, and I need to do something about it. And the more I started going deep into my journey, I realized that I think there are people around me who are probably at a at not at the same stage, but at a worse stage than me, because at least I was someone who had some kind of a better genes, I would say, or some good metabolism that was helping me till now. And that was only a short 3 to 6 months of span which helped me realize and come back. But the others probably are living with me 3 years, 3 to 6 years, or in the same state. Their health is deteriorating, but they are overworked. Their travel is taking a lot of time. And that's the disconnect, because we are just not getting feedback. Right now, the society is conditioned in such a way that even if you call someone an overweight, it's not allowed now. It becomes like you are body shaming. But boss, if someone is overweight, I think we should be telling that person, let's be. I mean, it's not being bad in calling some. You are not being the bad person by calling someone overweight. You are in fact giving good feedback. I mean, of course, there's a way to give that feedback, right? But if you are able to provide that feedback, if you are able to help each other out at least in their journey, we can all do well. I mean, we don't need too many fancy things to be helping us push ourselves towards fitness.
Got it. Now, in the same context, I think you give a classic example, right? Like, especially in a busy city like Mumbai, even Bangalore, for example, getting to work, we all live like very busy lives, right? Like, these are all like 12-hour days, literally. I mean, including the travel in Bangalore, you can add maybe a few hours as well. And goes the same for all most metro cities, where traveling itself is a challenge. Where does one, and with all of that, you have all of this immense this work pressure, there's uncertainty about jobs, so everyone's constantly on systems and all of that, right? And so the probably the most common thing would be, where would I get time? Like, where does time come
Mm-hmm.
from, like in the larger sense? And how would you, like, is there advice you can, like, even quick advice you can tell someone, like, boss, I don't have time, like I travel in the morning for so many hours, I need to go there, etc., I come back at so many hours, where do I get the time? For somebody like that, is there something you can tell them? Because like you've seen it, and for somebody, like you rightly said, you experienced discomfort while walking steps, and you said, okay, maybe that's a moment for me to realize that something is wrong. A lot of the people may not even have that, the thing of knowing something is wrong. But even for
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
to know, like, how do they, is there a way somebody can think about it? Is there some way you can tell them?
I mean, of course, timely is, like you said, rightly said, it's the most common excuse that we hear from people. Uh, and uh, I mean, it's of course. I mean, we can understand. I mean, if we can understand that time is works in the sense that you are someone who is probably trying to go and achieve a six pack or a full body transformation, or like massive biceps, delta, or you are training for, or you want to be like someone who want to be marathon ready, or you want to be these days high rocks is the case, high rocks ready. If you want to do all these things, yes, time nahi hai, I would like will I will approve that. I would accept that, because you need a specific amount of uh, or time commitment to be given every day for this kind of activities, or you to have that kind of transformation. But to just be healthy, to just be active, we don't need that much of a time. 20 minutes of a day, 20 minutes a day is enough. And the wonderful thing is, once you realize that you're able to find out those 20 minutes, there will be a time when your body or your mind will tell you, these 20 minutes, okay, man, 20 minutes was a struggle previously for me. Now I'm able to do it for 20 minutes. Now let me do it. Cycle starts inside your mind and you start pushing yourself, and that's the beauty of it. The consistency then slowly improves your intensity. That intensity pushes you to be more consistent, and that again brings out more intensity. So you have to start small. You have to start somewhere. I mean, I have an example of one of my previous bosses, boss who was slightly overweight on an overweight side, and he was. I'll be very honest, like, admitting that he was someone who used to look up to me only in the fitness sense, not of course not at the work because he was my boss, but in the fitness sense, he used to keep on asking me for advice. I used to tell him, boss, you stay. I think around. He used to stay 10 minutes away from where we were working.
Hmm.
Told him, why not try walking to office? At first, he sounded crazy to him. He says, I have a car, I have a driver. Why should I come walking? I said, see, it's not about your status that we are talking over here. It's not about how people are going to perceive you. It's about you doing it for your health. And I'll be very happy to admit that he openly accepted this, told me, Nikhilesh, I'll give it a try for the next 1 week. Let me see if it works out. It started working out for him. He started walking 20 minutes a day to office. And I was, and that I used to work with Godrej, and Godrej is an industrial area. I mean, that entire premises we have numerous plants, and sometimes we would have to go from one plant to other. This man used to work at, I mean, he had his office set up at two or three of those plants. He used to walk between those plants, and that was enough for him to cover around, I would say, uh, 15 to 18,000 steps a day. I mean, I'm not saying steps is a right way to gauge how much of an activity or how much active he was, but at least that's better than doing maybe 0, 10, 0 or 5,000 or 10,000, right? And that's how he pushed it. And slowly he realized that has now I have come to a point where my steps are not working for me. I have lost a decent amount of weight. Now I need to do something else. Then he asked me, what do I do now? I told him the next immediate next step for you is probably you find a gym or you do a home workout. I can guide you on that and share a small plan, a very short plan for you, wherein you just do some short exercise at home and you come to office. And then he followed that. So then he realized that he has more time than actually you should tell. I mean, whatever time we spend in doom scrolling, in sometimes in unnecessary meetings. If our meetings are something are the best way where you can hack your time and do some activity. I mean, at least for people who are doing in work from home setup, that's the best. I mean, I've advised a lot of people to buy a walk pad at home. I mean, these days you
Hmm.
get very portable walking pad. You don't need a very fancy heavy treadmill. You keep a walking pad at home, fix it to keep it just below standing desk, and I mean, there's no reason why you will feel that I'm putting one weight or I'm being I'm just being seated throughout the day.
Awesome. No, it's a great point. And one very interesting thing you mentioned there, right? Like I think that what can I say? Initial reaction to what you told him, hey, walk from work or walk from wherever, right?
Yeah.
This is a very Indian context also. Like I'll put it in the Indian context. A lot of the times you think about it, like in the Garwale, the people at house, your neighbors, your friends, suddenly when you start talking about fitness with the office and our obsession with, let's say, the Swiggies and the Zomatos of the world, how do you deal with that? Because in your case, at least the man listened to you and he said, okay, fine, I will try. I will give it a try. But like for a lot of us normal people, we are dealing with all. When you tell somebody, hey, boss, man, I'm going to the gym. I'm trying to do fitness. I'm trying to do something. There's always like one people are like making fun of you. Like I mean, either it's through their own insecurities or whatever else. But sometimes people have to deal with that. How do you like suggest someone like, hey, how do I deal with this kind of where you get your own close circle of people are making fun of the fact that you are taking fitness seriously, watching your food, like simple things you do.
Yeah.
How does one deal with that?
Yeah, you see me smiling in this case because it's happening a lot to me these days. I mean, these days because I'm into the business of fitness itself, I'm
Yeah.
getting to hear it more. I mean, the most common thing that I hear from them is, okay, Ari, this is you are doing it for a business, so it's okay for you. Hum kyun kare yaar? We are not, we have our lives to live. So that's not what it should be about, rather. Uh, See, there anything that you do, anything good that you do in life, I think it's a very Indian thing that you will get a certain bit of uh, cynicism or hate from people around you about it, right? Uh, gym Gyms have traditionally been viewed in our country as a place where it's only a bodybuilder without brain who is going and lifting and pumping iron and doing it. But I will be very honest in admitting the fact that right now a lot that thought is changing. If you would have asked me this question 7 years ago, 8 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have probably said yes. I will have to fight it. Now I'm seeing people are much aware. I mean, that's one thing where I would like to give Instagram a salute, because that's one place which has somehow increase that awareness in people that strength training is not only for someone who wants to build a body. Women can also do strength training because it's good for them, good for them, I mean, good for muscle, not losing muscle, good for their bone, good for the cycle as well. And also eating good food is, I mean, it's not just that what you do in the gym that's going to count. Your sleep and your food is also important as much as your reps, your steps, or the weight that you lift.
Awesome. No, it's great. Let's switch. I mean, good time for us now to talk about Habitry as well. Let's talk about
Yeah.
your business as well in a few more lines, right? And if you could also share maybe a client story of transformation, right? Where it wasn't just about a lot of the, I'm sure a lot of clients come in with that, hey, I want to lose weight, I want to get fit. But also, like you just mentioned, like dealing with the surround sound that will come from everything else, right? Like any example of someone, you don't have to mention the name, but somebody who's like gone through this and how did they went through and what was the guidance that you gave them to sort of get through with their process?
Oh, I would like to give two examples to you. I mean, one is like a case we have been already been able to solve it. By solve, I mean we have been able to get that consistency and that belief that what she's doing now is right for her in the health in the wellness. From the wellness side, I am using the word wellness particularly because we as a company are not just focusing on physical health or nutrition. We are also offering a mental health or a mindset support, either of the two. And another case is a very a physical fitness related case. The first one which I was talking about is I mean, we have a client who was doing yoga, both her pregnancy. Uh, she was doing it for around 2, 3, I think 4 or 5 days a week of yoga with her trainer. And the yoga trainer introduced some amount of weights into the routine for her. She realized that yoga is probably being, I mean, she has was becoming a lot monotonous for her. So let's try to introduce some weights for her. And she loved the idea of using weights. She got in touch with me saying that, yeah, I am loving the yoga. I mean, I love my yoga trainer. She does a fantastic job at it. But I think if I have to do some strength training, I should. So why not I take up that plan because you have already started this, and I would love to do. And in fact, the best thing that I've read from you is that you are already having a unsafe base. So, uh, I would happily, I'll be happily to offer plans. She started one, and now it has come to a point that she has sees the changes that are happening in her body on the strength combined with the yoga that she is anyway doing separately. Now strength training has taken precedent over yoga for her. That's become priority on 3 7 with the yoga. We have given a short and for the 2 days where it is a mix of some light movements and walking because you don't want someone to be doing everything. I mean, having all the days of the week uh, doing something with you. And parallelly, she has been having a mindset sessions as well with the psychologist who has been who is a sports mental conditioning kind of a coach. And that's what wonders for her because now for her, her entire wellness is being taken care of by one team. I mean, that's what I mean, now I would like to connect it to the first question that I answered you, that we need systems. At offices, we have systems, we have teams, we have people to work around us, we have a boss, we have someone who's asking us, we have someone who is reporting to us and asking us to do something. That's what we are doing now. We have a physical coach, we have a nutritionist, we have a mindset coach and a personal WhatsApp assistant who does all the schedulings for her without she being worried about what and when to schedule a session. What more can you ask for? I mean, that's been like I won't say that's been a transformation for her in the sense that she's like gone from a 100 kg to a 40, 60 kg, 70 kg, one of those that you see on social media. No, but she has been in a fantastic mind space now because that's what I get from her every time I talk to her when I get her messages on WhatsApp. The other case that I was talking about is a very recent case. I think started around 6, 7 weeks ago. Uh, uh, Overweight friend of mine wants to get ready for the Kailas Mansarovar trek, and you must be aware. So Kailash Mansara trek involves around, I think, 15, 20, 30 kilometers, or even I think 40 kilometers of walking every day for 3 to 5 days. So he came
Hmm.
to saying that what can I do? I mean, where can we start from? Because I have done nothing till now in my life about fitness. So set her up with a trainer who takes his sessions around, routine exercises like mobility, sort of like stretching, a bit of strength workout, but all body weight, no using of weights because we want to be pretty safe with someone who has just started. And we just recommended a simple routine for him on the rest of the days to increase his cardiovascular fitness, which is do incline walks on the treadmill in his society gym. And unfortunately, the yatra is now cancelled. The Kailash Mansur yatra, which was supposed to take place for him, I mean, those dates when he had booked the spot, that's got cancelled because of the Nepal issue that's happening right now. But otherwise, he's saying that I'm ready. I mean, I didn't think that I would be ready by now. I mean, 6 weeks and I'm ready. I mean, even if the yatra happens in the next 2 weeks or if aage bhi, but that doesn't stop me from working out with you now because my plan was to do it with you till the yatra. But I'm just loving what's happening to my body now, and I never realized that this is what will happen in this few days of me. And I mean, this is the kind of transformation I would like people to have, other than just go from a very obese to a very fit guy. Of course, these are part and parcel of it, but till the time the person is loving and enjoying the journey and wants to continue,
Yeah.
that's the best thing we can ask for.
I love that last point. Loving and enjoying the journey. I think that's more
Yeah,
important than the
exactly.
outcome sometimes. Yeah. And another part I'll bring in, right? So today, and we have in India, we have so many festivals, right? There's
Yeah,
festivals that come after, the celebrations that are very after, outside of, let's say, our birthdays, anniversaries, and all, right? And a common practice, of course, in all our things is sweets. You have the umpteen number of sweets
yeah,
and different kinds of things coming.
yeah, yeah.
How does one, and I would call it literally, this is food chaos, right? Like when you have all of this full, heavy, rich sugar, all of that in front of you. And sometimes, Nikhilesh, it can be seen as offensive if you don't take sweet from someone, or you don't, in some cases, right? How does
Okay.
one handle this great celebration that's happening around you, but at the same time without being offensive or without hurting someone's feelings? How do you manage that?
Uh, you know what? I mean, the best reason that you can use on these occasions is, I mean, it will sound quite funny, but that I'm fasting, and I don't think anyone's going to force you to eat anything. But I mean, of course, I've used this a lot of times, and it's worked for me. But I won't say that it's a reason that should be used often. The problem is, see, if you look at a country like India, I think August is when generally it's August or September when Shravan hits, when Shravan starts, and that's when the festivals start. And from then till the 31st of December, I mean, if we include the New Year celebration as well, these 4 months are months when we go on. I mean, we go visit people, we visit our friends, we uh, party, everything mixed. We, like you said, people offer sweets which you can't say no to. But the problem is, we look at it from a very myopic view of that. Okay, these 4 months now I'm gone. Manage we I have done for the last 8 months is gone for a toss. Or these 4 months I'm going to enjoy. And first of Jan say I'll start my gym. I'll start getting transformed. I'll go healthy. Why? I think if you have been fairly consistent with your workouts for the entire year, these 4 months are matter that much. See, if we actually pick and choose the number of days on which these festivals are coming, I don't think it's going to be more than what, 20, 30?
Yeah.
ये max पकड़ लो 120 day 4 months के लिए if you we consider 120 उसमें भी 30, so 30 days you are probably going on a binge eating spree, right, or overeating spree. Rest of the days, the rest of the days of the year rather, why don't you just stay consistent? I mean, even during those festive days, if you think that you want to uh, go hard on yourself, don't go. I mean, that is a bigger problem for us right now. We think because we have eaten heavy weight, because we have been binge eating, now I should go heavy. And what happens is people immediately go rush in the pursuit of uh, वो सब calories मेरे को हटाना है. They think with that kind of a mindset, when you go there, you go heavy, then something goes wrong, and then your journey again derails. In fact, these are the days when the consistency part should take care. The rest of the 8 months of the year, you can be intense. You can be intense around the workouts because Uh, and I think it's also a problem with the fitness industry because for them, first of Jan से लेके at least 30th of Jan is a time when their discounts are
Yeah.
on. Our memberships are full, and in fact they want it that way, to happen that way. But then why are we keeping on in our mind a certain date which is a new year from which we have to start transforming or we have to change? Tomorrow you can start, day after tomorrow you can start, next week you can start anytime. Just be consistent around it. Intensity, maybe you can vary the intensity as per the seasons that you want.
Got it. No, I love that, and I think I'll segue into the next part as well, which is more about like you say, like maybe 8 months you be intense, 4 months you don't be as intense because of what's going on in life. If you had to
Yeah,
look at, and I think you already covered this, but I'll just for the purpose of the people listening in, if you had to pick, let's say between a client or somebody who has like who works out, let's say 1 hour daily, or for someone who just walks 30 minutes but handles everything else that's going on in their life about their weight
yeah,
and everything else, who's
yeah,
your like a who do you think might actually succeed by the end of all of this? Like, I mean, of course individually people will be different, but somebody who
yeah.
just 1 hour daily but like not able to deal with everything, but somebody's like, hey, I'll do 30 minutes only, it's fine, but I will deal with everything else, but I'll still do my 30 minutes whatever happens. Who do you think, I mean, according to you, like you feel? Yeah.
I would select the second one, the person who is managing everything and yet doing 30 minutes of some activity. I mean, I won't call walking, but some activity. Maybe
Anything. Yeah.
he or she does 30 minutes of walk on 3 days. Rest of the 3 days does some yoga or does some strength training at home. Maybe has a pull-up bar fixed at home doing some pull-ups. I think that guy or that woman is a champion for me because you are doing something by managing everything around you. And I can bet on this because I've gone through the same journey. Before marriage, I would go 2 hours, sometimes more than that in the gym, because that's what I could do. I mean that's the kind of time that I had that time. Now there are days when I schedule it properly and I can probably go for 1 hour or more longer sessions. But then there are days when I don't have the time. I just do something at home, or I do a light run or a light or some walk, incline walk, and manage stuff. And if you are staying consistent around it, you will always feel better. I mean, and that guy, that woman will be someone who will succeed, in my opinion.
Nice. No, I think it's a great point in the end. Like this fact that you should stay consistent, being consistent, I think is the theme that we're resonating along. Last question I
Yes,
have,
sir.
Nikhilesh. So today, a lot of us, especially in our country, believe that when we do exercise, when we try to get fit, it's almost like giving up something that we love.
Yeah.
Where like let's say like the kind of food that we eat or stuff that we like or whatever else, right? Like the habits that we currently have, it feels like that. If you had to like what's one habit change that actually you believe makes life more enjoyable? Anything could be anything, contextual as well. And if you had to define someone who's truly like built different, somebody with who has what's that one non-negotiable you think everyone should have in their life as a habit itself, like?
The more I'm reading, the more I'm researching into these things, I think the only non-negotiable habit that people need to have, people need to be aware of more is sleep. There is nothing that compares to a good, restful 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I know everyone will say that it's impossible to do it. Uh, I even I struggle in managing it. But I'll tell you, Sandeep, I mean, those days when I've had a good restful sleep of at least 7 hours, the rest of the day uh, is fantastic because I mean, everything in your body, everything in your mind is balanced. The moment you sacrifice your sleep for something else, I don't think that activity or that thing for which you have sacrificed your sleep, 100% even there. No, I would be good at that. So sleep is something, and I think Modi ji started this the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, right? And I think he has also started this Fit India movement kind of thing. I think somewhere we need to get this from the government level that we have a national sleep movement or a Sleep India movement. We as Indians actually need it with the at least in the kind of cities that we are living in right now, because I think a lot of us are sacrificing sleep not just for work but also the commute part. But
Correct.
somewhere we need to bring that awareness. We need to try it out. I mean, and not only on an individual level, but on a family level, on a society level, on a country level as well. And that would be a game changer for us, I believe, in terms of productivity, efficiency. health, everything.
I hope one day we do. That's a very, very great point, Nikhilesh. Sleep India movement. I think that's something all of us should think about. Absolutely hit the nail on the. But thanks a lot, Nikhilesh. And I'll quickly summarize. I think if there's one thing today that's making our conversation clear, it's that you don't need motivation. You don't need the perfect diet plan. You don't need the smartest gadget or another New Year's resolution. What you need is really having habits, right? And in India today, with our festivals, family pressure, work days, food culture, habits are the only way forward. Jugaad is not going to help you. Hacks don't last. Systems
See,
do.
one thing on the habits
Thanks.
part. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah,
One
go
thing on
for
the
it.
habit part. Yeah, one thing on the habit part is that if we just keep on talking about this and tell people no, that why don't you stay consistent around your habits during those days when you are not feeling like it, or during the festival also. I will, if we ask this question to someone who is a cigarette smoker, I bet that the cigarette smoker will not give up his habit of smoking during those days. So if you're not not giving up the habit of smoking during those days, why are you getting rid of the good habits during those days? You can continue those as well.
That's a great example. A habit should last forever and keep it consistent as much as you can. And that's what Nikhilesh talks about today, right? Thanks a lot, Nikhilesh, for that. It's really about, and you should go check out his company as well, Habitree. That's the name. Go and check it out as well. Because at the end of the day, gang, it's not about like having hour-long workouts or massive things that you can do. It's even those 30 minutes of something, movement, yoga, and most important thing I think he mentions in the end is sleep. Get your sleep. Rest and recovery is the best thing ever. I echo Nikhilesh's statements there. I've seen the days I've had great sleep as well. I work really much better. But thanks a lot. And that's really what makes someone built different. Thanks a lot, Nikhilesh. Really happy to have you on
Thank you,
this
Sandeep.
podcast today.
It was a pleasure joining you. Thanks.